Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am doing my winter faves and fails today. I managed to try a few products. My skin was a bit better, although it's since had a wee reaction to something again, so I'm having the same problem. Hopefully it doesn't get any worse. At this stage it's just a slight little rash, fingers crossed. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was a colour corrector. So I finally forced myself out of my comfort zone. I love my Tarte, this one here, colour corrector in the, what is this one? Yeah, Coloured Clay CC Under Eye Corrector. I love this one, but I need to break out of my comfort zone. So I ordered the NARS one and I got it in the wrong shade. So I since got it in the right shade, and it's just called, I think it's just called NARS Colour Corrector. This is it here. Oh, Radiant Creamy Colour Corrector. This is the one here. If my camera will focus, there we are. And this is in the light shade. I got the medium, which is way too dark. Let's remind you of this. So this has a brush. Tiny wee one. Come on, camera. There. This I do like. Not as much as my favourite. This would be like a backup. If I couldn't get this one, I would definitely go for this one. The only reason being, this is quite, this is a liquid, so it's, you know, that thinner consistency. It's not like a cream, and I think I prefer a cream. Don't get me wrong, it still does the job. It's still fine. You know, it didn't crease, it didn't do anything bad. It did its job, it colour corrected. I just prefer a cream to a liquid. So this would be my second best favourite colour corrector, shall we say, yeah. This is available at Mecca, and this is pricey. It's actually, this one's cheaper, so that's another kind of thing. Anyway, yeah, this one's Mecca and it's $56. So yeah. But in saying that, it would probably last you a really, really long time because you do not need very much. That's the other thing. I usually put a wee dot right in here and then another one down here where I've got some more colour problems, and over in the corner. Blend it in and it's perfect. I haven't got it on today. I was in a bit of a hurry and I didn't have the time to fuss around with this one. Not that it's fussy, but I don't know. Liquid just seems to take me longer. This one I can just, you know, and it's done. But it's still my second favourite. Yes. So that one is a fave. I will have everything linked down below too. If you spot something that you think, okay, yeah, I would like to give that a go, hit the link in the description box and it'll take you right to the site where you can buy it. Next up is the lip liners. So I tried 3 over the season. There was one from Milani, one from Revlon, and one from Essence. This was the 3 of them here. So they all range in price. Where are we? I wrote this all down because my memory is not the greatest at the moment. So the Essence one, oh yes, now, okay, let's start with the Essence one. This one is a fail, unfortunately. The pen, well, it's not even a pencil, it's a, what do they call these, crayons? Yeah. It crumbles like crazy every time I tried to use it. You're not even pressing very hard, you know, you just kind of start, and then it'll be, before you know it, you've got these horrible little dots and things around, you know, and it's, so I just gave up. I tried it about 3 or 4 times and then went, you know what, I'm done with you. I'm not 100% a fan of the colour either, so that one unfortunately was a fail. And so was the Revlon one. Now, this one's only a fail because of the shade, okay? I cannot stand the pink, orangey kind of shades in anything on my face. They just do nothing for me, be it on my lips, be it on eyeshadow, be it in a blush, anything like that, whew, no. So, and unfortunately that shade, which was called, let me refresh my memory, I think it's just called Blush, yeah, was exactly that. So I wore it once And it wasn't, I was actually just around home because I was like, I need to test this out. I still had makeup on, but I was just like, okay, I'm gonna wear it. Yep, still don't like it. So I do like Revlon lip liners. They are good, don't get me wrong. So it's only a fail on the colour, okay? These ones are available at Farmers, a lot of different places really, and they are priced at, get my words right, $29. That was the Revlon lip liner. Now the Milani lip liner, however, yes, definitely liked this one. Okay, this, they just call this the Milani Understatement lip liner, and this is in the shade Audacious Pink. Audacious Pink. That's actually something I forgot to mention about the Essence one. When I went and looked up this to link it, there was no lip liners. I went to the Essence website. It didn't say anything about they hadn't changed them, or you know, they were changing them or something was going on. It just, they were still available on there, but in our Farmers and who's the other person that stocks Essence warehouse, no lip liners, not even a shade. You know, sometimes if they're getting rid of something, they'll have at least one shade that's, you know, not a seller, that's still there. No. And unfortunately, the same thing has happened with this Milani one. I went to link it as well, and they've got like 4 shades. This particular shade is available, Audacious Pink, but their whole shade range has been condensed down to like, I think it was 5. I'm like, I checked on the Milani website, there's like 20 something different shades, so I don't know what's going on there. I'm not sure, but Farmers are only stocking like 5 shades of this, so if you really liked the Audacious Pink in, what they're calling it, Milani Understatement lip liner, rush out and get it. It is available at Farmers for $22.99, so it's a bit cheaper than the Revlon ones. Yeah, so that one is the Milani lip liner, and that is a fave. I actually have liked, well, the ones I've tried, the Milani lip liners, they're probably my favourite. I mean, I think I said this in my first impressions video. They're very similar, Milani and Revlon. The only slight difference is the texture or the gliding on, you know, that kind of thing. There's just that slight, this one glides on slightly better than this one. I mean, it's very minimal, you know what I mean? So they're both good. Next up we have the Garnier Skin Active BB Cream, Perfecting All-in-One, and this is in Classic Light. Okay, that was this one here. This is available at lots of places. Kmart, the Warehouse, Chemist Warehouse, supermarkets, it's anywhere. Just a variation in price. That's something to be aware of. There are 4 types. Okay, if you like this, there are 4 different types, so beware you pick the right one. Okay, there is Classic, which is this one, Anti-Aging, Even Tone, which has an SPF of 50, and there's one for combination and oily skin, which I wish I had known about because that would be perfect. This one, Classic, is way too luminous for me. It's just shiny. Like when I first put it on with powder, I can kind of dampen the glow a little bit, but then throughout the day you start to see it get worse, and then you kind of get home and you're like, oh, okay, this is, you know. So I wore it on my shorter days to make sure I didn't, you know, look too bad. Another thing is it rubs off very easily. You know, there was one part of it, I had some allergies playing up, sneezing a lot, blowing my nose a lot. It just looked like my nose is all red, there was just this giant patch, and my chin was a giant patch of where it had just come off because I'd been rubbing, you know, and it had just come off. And that was a particular day I put a lot on because I wanted, well, not a lot, but you know, more than usual, because I wanted a bit more coverage, okay? Now this is still with setting powder, I still set it, you know, and it's just still rubbed off, so that kind of annoyed me. So I thought I would try it with my primer that I love. It works with everything to see if I can get it to stop that rubbing off business. And there was a slight improvement, but not a lot. You know, I mean, I was still able to sort of blow my nose and a little bit was coming off, nowhere near as much was coming off before, but it's still coming off, you know? So the primer didn't really make much of a difference. The next thing is the fragrance, okay? If you're very sensitive to fragrance or you have a sensitive nose, you're not gonna like this. The scent in this is crazy strong. I actually found a lot of the times I was putting it on, and I put it on, because I put it on, it's like the third thing I put foundation, you know, or BB creams or whatever I'm wearing, I put them on about third, you know, and then I do everything else. So I was doing everything else and I'm finding I was starting to get a headache because it's quite strong. Now, it doesn't last, don't get me wrong, the scent does eventually fade, you don't, you know, smell it at the end of the day. It's just that from the time it took me to put it on, then put the rest of my makeup on, I was then going, oh, my head's starting to hurt. No, it's very strong. I don't know if that's the case with all the different types. I still think I will eventually try the combination to oily skin to see if there's any difference in the smell and in other things, pretty much. The other thing to be aware of is I found if I put a light covering on, I could get away with it, okay? It wasn't if I was in say it's the weekend, I just wanted something on. You know, I put it on quite lightly with my fingers, although I'm still not a fan of putting it on with my fingers. I found that it just didn't glide on very well, but anyway. So yeah, I could get away with a light covering doing it that way, but if I wanted a bit more coverage, I couldn't unfortunately use this shade. So I had to lighten it with my, at the moment I think I've got Mecca Lightning foundation drops, so I had to use that to lighten it if I wanted more coverage and if I wanted it to last a bit longer too. So say on my long day, although I only did that once because lesson learned, but on my long day I did wear this with the lightener to get it a bit more full, not full coverage, but a bit more coverage out of it. Yeah, so that was a bit unfortunate. And then I tried it at home with, well actually no, I tried it at home first with a bit more coverage and found that, you know, I had quite the line, and that's what decided that made me decide to, okay, I need to lighten it if I want more coverage. This unfortunately will be a fail, and well, yeah, no it is, it's going to be a fail, but I still would like to try it in the 1-4 combination in oily skin to see if there's any difference. I don't know about the shade range, whether it's the same for all across the range, whether there's only the 4, sorry, I got that mixed up. I think there's 3 shades. Yeah, I think there's a light, a medium and a dark pretty much, yeah. But I don't know if that's the same across all the 4 types, so I'll probably do a bit more research on that before I bought it. But I would like to try to see if the shade is any different, see if I can get it to work without having to lighten it, to see if the scent's any different. So I will keep you posted on that one, fingers crossed. It's very hard. I noticed one thing about this is some stores will kind of have one shade in one type. Like a good example is my local is a New World, and the New World had the classic and deep, or the darkest shade, then they had the anti-aging and the light, and then they had no, they didn't have the combo, they had the other one, the even tone, and the medium. It's like, and granted, I think it's probably something to do with their shelf, you know, how they can fit everything on the shelf, but it's very annoying. You go to somewhere like Kmart, it's very similar. They'll have a few in the shade range of one particular type, then they'll have one in one of the other types, and it'll just be one shade, and you're kind of going, oh, is it sold out, or is it just that they're not stocking the rest of it, or I don't know, that's kind of frustrating, so I may have to do my research online to see if I can just get what I want. So yeah, unfortunately, it's a fail, but I'm still gonna try the other one, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Then we have the, well, I don't really need to talk too much about this, but I did test out the Mecca Max Gloss Boss, the clear one. It's still the same. I mean, I love it just as much as the Call It one that I did love. I just can't wear it for very long, and you find if you keep kind of putting it on, you know, sort of say like on my long day, my long day, which is sometimes 19 hours. And if I keep putting it on throughout the day, it does start to get a bit kind of gluggy, so I find you have to get rid of it and then reapply. Of course, if it's by itself, if you're wearing a lip liner underneath, you'd have to reapply your lip liner and your gloss. So it's like a shorter day kind of thing, you know? So I still like it. It's not something I would go rush out and buy or anything like that, but it's okay. So this is available at Mecca. It is actually their brand, and it's $22. The next thing is this. Now, this has a name somewhere. This has a name. Of course it has a name. Mecca Max Brow Guru Control Gel. Yes, that's the full name. Just making sure. There we are. Okay. This is a fave with a few things I don't like. Number one, I hope this will show up on camera. See that glugginess around the, yeah, that dries me up the wall. Let's just wipe that off. And that's not even from like when I put it back in the container, I don't like force it in fast or, you know, to cause that kind of thing to happen. Gently put it back in, screw the top, don't screw it down hard, you know, until it's like going, oh, I can't move anymore, that kind of thing. It's just, it just does it. It's very annoying. Now that that's cleaned up, you can see it a bit better. Yeah, so that's one of the pet peeves I have about this. The other pet peeve is, because this is a clear liquid and a clear bottle, you'll notice there's a change in colour. Like it's gone this murky kind of a not so nice looking, you know. And I mean, did get into the habit of using it, then wiping off the wand, putting it back in, you know, just like you do with a lip gloss, so that, or clear lip gloss, so that it's not, the colour's not going back in your, you know, your container. But then I was like, well, it's only me using it. I never change my shade of eyebrow pencil, so does it really matter? No. So I got a bit fed up with doing that, so I was like, you know what, the bottle is discoloured anyway, so I'm just going to keep using it. The product itself is really good though. That's the thing I love about it. It still lasts. It is probably just as good, I must say, as my beloved Benefit 24-hour brow setter. It is that good. It is really good, and a much cheaper version. This is, where are we? Available at Mecca, as we know, and it's 21, whereas the Benefit one, it can be anywhere from 40 to 50, you know. I mean, they last a long time in saying that, but hey, if you can get something a bit cheaper, why not? So yes, this is a fail with a few things I don't like, or pet peeves, if you want to call them that, but they're manageable. You know, they're not something I'm gonna stop using it because of those reasons. I'm still gonna use it. So yeah, that was the Mecca, oh my gosh, what was the title? Mecca Max Brow Guru Gel, and it is a fave. The last thing I wanted to talk about was actually something I've been trying out for maybe a season and a half kind of thing. So I wanted to make sure I had a good idea of how I felt about it. So I didn't actually do a what do you call it, first impressions of this, because I've always loved it before the formula got changed. So this is the Revlon Color Stay Foundation 24-hour long wear foundation and combo oily. So what happened was they changed the formula. Put it off for a long time. I was like, no, usually when people change the formula, something goes wrong and it ends up terrible. So I was like, you know what? I put it off for a long time, and eventually I was like, right, you know, I shouldn't be like that. I should try it just to see. And I have ended up loving it just as much as the original, I've got to say. The only slight difference is that the old formulation was quite creamy. You know, you squeezed it onto your hand and it was very creamy and soft and luxurious kind of feeling. This one's a bit more of a runny consistency. Okay, so, but it's not like, and you don't put it on, it runs off your hand kind of thing. It's just slightly runnier than the original. It still looks great. I've got it on today. It's still my favorite, one of my favorite foundations to wear whenever I need a foundation to look good and last. This is the one I reach for. Sorry, you can hear that it's got a bit of a rattle. Sorry if you can hear it. This has vitamin E in it, SPF 15, and I'm in the shade 180 Sand Beige. Yeah. No matter what way I used it, sponge, foundation brush, my fingers, it all worked perfectly. If I wore a little, if I wanted a bit more, it just worked just as good. Another good thing is the other formula of this, it did not work with any primers. It was terrible with primers for some reason. This formulation, no problem. It works fine with primers. So I love that too. Yeah, so yeah, this has become a fave. I wish I had tried it sooner, to be honest, because now I'm thinking, oh, you know, I could have been using this ages ago. But yeah, so that's a fave. That one is available at Farmers. There's a few chemists, Chemist Warehouse. I think that's all I can think of. Yeah, at Farmers it's $47. I've seen it somewhere else cheaper. Can't think. Actually, it's a funny story. If you Google this particular foundation, it comes up Dick Smith is selling it. I'm like, aren't they in a electronics store? Crazy. Or is it just a different or similar name, different company? I don't know what's happening there, but anyway, it came up that they were selling it. But Farmers definitely sells it, and Chemist Warehouse. And I'm pretty sure the other one does too. What's that one called? Chemist Warehouse and Bargain Chemist, yeah. So, you know, shop around. Yeah, I mean, 47, well, it's going to last you a long time, so that's another thing to remember. The price point is probably pretty good. I don't know if I mentioned, but there are different ones for this as well. This is the one that is only for combination to oily skin. There is another one for drier skin. I think there's an oily skin, don't quote me on that one. I'm not sure about the oily skin. I think this is the only one I've seen that classes itself okay for oily skin and combination, yeah. I think the other one's just for dry skin. Yeah, so that's another thing to be aware of if you are going to try it. Make sure you get the right one. That is it for the winter faves and fails. Quite a few faves this time, which is always good. So yeah, if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you in my next one. Bye!